got my luggage packed, leaving town and won't be back. Jump, jive, dance and swing, everybody's jumping down in Palm Springs. If you have a buck or two.
It's my birthday! Hi! Thank you so much for coming. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. My name is Helen Hong. I hope you guys laugh a lot because I could be making so much more money giving happy endings right now. I mean, really, let's face it. I wish I were joking, but I'm not because I am Asian. I'm not just tired, this is permanent. I was asking around if there is a big Asian population in Palm Springs, and they were like, no. So, like, pretty much, I've effectively doubled the Asian population. Me and this rice queen right here. Hey! You're the rice queen. You're the rice queenie. Mom wants you to call home, don't forget. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Helen, which is a very traditional name that means boner killer. Yeah. Helen really is the third most unfuckable name. I mean, let's be honest about that. The only two names that are less fuckable than the name Helen are Bertha and Mildred. Do you know how hard it is to flirt when you're like, hi, oh, you want to know my name? It's Helen. Doesn't really inspire humping. Because, it's an older woman's name, and, a lot of people see their grandmas are named Helen. And for some reason, all young Asian women, we all have old white lady names. It's a weird, we're all named Helen, or Eunice, or Pearl, some bullshit like that. It's almost like our immigrant parents got their hands on a baby name book from the 1920s. And they were just passing it around. Like my dad was like, oh. Oh, Helen! Oh, very nice, Helen! Helen Hong! I like it. It's catchy, I like it. Here's the thing about the name Helen. There have only been two really famous Helens in all of history, right? One of them was the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen of Troy, and the other famous Helen was blind, deaf, and dumb. Yes, which Helen I'm named after, not the hot one. So one day I'm like, Dad, why would you name me after someone who's so severely handicapped? And he goes, oh, Helen, I want you to overcome any adversity. I wanted to name you Stephen Hawking, but Mommy said no. My parents did give me the name Helen. My parents gave themselves American names which they cannot pronounce. True story. You know how R's and L's are impossible for Asian people? Well, my dad named himself Ray. Pronounced Lay. And my mom named herself Lisa, pronounced Lisa. So now they're just this old Korean couple running around being like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, I'm Lay. These are my wife, Lisa. Our daughter, Helen. Oh, our dog, Lupus. That's my car, Toyota Corolla. I know that there's a big gay population here, and I knew as soon as I turned out, the first hotel I saw was the D Resort. And I was like, I can only imagine the D stands for dick. That's D stands for dick. So I had my birthday this past week, and birthdays are really hard. They're really hard for me. I do a lot of soul searching on my birthday, and I turned, by the way, just so you know, I turned 21. Yet again, I turned 21, so I'm Asian. I mean, really, I can tell you that I turned 20. You would believe me, because rice stays nice, bitches. Black don't crack and rice stays nice. You know what I mean? Like, I could be 98 years old and you would have no idea. Like, my shit is tight. I'm just telling telling people to turn 21 again, and relax. So, you know, it's a real school in New York City where I grew up. It's the High School for Performing Arts, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the Fame. So I go to my parents and I'm like, Mom, Dad, I wanna be an actress. I wanna go to the Fame High School. And my Korean parents say this to me, they're like, what? What are you talking about? Get back to your math homework. Just dream killers, just dream squashing for years. So then years later, I go back to that. I'm like, Mom, Dad, I'm going to be a stand-up comedian. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? Get back to finding a Korean husband. You're getting older. TikTok, bitch. Of course they want me to marry a Korean husband. This is how much they want me to marry a Korean husband. I get this phone call a couple of years ago, true story. My mom calls me up and she goes, Helen, I found me your husband. I'm like, here we go. And she goes, Helen, I found a Korean medical doctor who also does comedy. You found a Korean medical doctor who also does comedy? Where? Oh, I read about him in a newspaper. He's in a movie called The Hangover. Are you talking about the naked Asian guy that jumps out of the trunk of the car? Yes, he's a Korean medical doctor who also does comedy. Okay, you all know who I'm talking about, right? Okay, that guy's name is Ken Jeong. He's very successful now. He's been in all the Hangover movies. He was in that show Community. Before he did that, he was a stand-up comedian. Before he did that, he was an actual medical doctor. What an overachieving asshole. I mean, fucking calm down, dude. Like, you're making the rest of us look bad. And he was actually a medical doctor. Like, he's in surgery one day, and it's like, you know what? I'm pretty funny. Who has Zach Galifianakis' number? So, of course, my mom's like, Helen, I found you a husband. I'm like, Mom, I cannot possibly marry that guy. The entire world has seen his dong. And it was not that impressive. And my mom says, Helen, for Korean men, he is actually quite humongous. Which is more information about my dad than I thought. Sorry, Asian brother. Flags are there for a reason, right? So, like, you know, generally Asian men are smaller than white men or smaller than black men. Generally, that's like the rumor about dick size. But there's always gonna be the guys that buck the stereotype. Right? Like, there's gotta be a black guy out there that is hung like a Tic Tac. I mean, there is like a Tyrone or a Jamal that's like, damn it. He's just hung like a little itty, you know, like a thimble. And I just imagine like all the girls that line up to have sex with him and they're like, you know, the white girls that are like, oh my God, I have to do calisthenics. Stretches, I'm totally gonna have sex with Jamal tonight. Oh my God, so excited. They're doing the breathing, like Lamaze breathing, like, okay, make it happen. And then Tyrone with the TikTok whips it out, and she's like, oh my God. I was going to disappoint my parents for that. This joke's for you, brother. I realized I was looking right now. I'm like, he looks kind of dark, actually. Is it the lights in my eyes, or is that guy actually black?
I'm the one in the room.
Are you the one black guy in the room? Oh my God. So statistically, you probably have a huge dong. Statistically, he's not the Tyrone with the Tic Tac. He's the Tyrone with the, like, gorilla anaconda. So good on you, brother. So, yeah, so there's gotta be a black guy with a tiny dick. A girlfriend of mine actually hooked up with a Korean guy, and she was like, Helen, this guy had the biggest schlong I have ever seen in my entire life. And I was like, no. She's like, this thing was like the size of like one of those Coors Light 24-ounce like bullet can things. And I was like, no. And she's like, it was humongous. And we started making out. We started getting really excited. And then he passed out because he was only 5 feet tall. Yeah. What I ended up doing? I ended up finding a roommate on Craigslist. You know your life is in the... You know you've taken some bad left turns in your life when you're finding a roommate on Craigslist. I ended up moving in with a much older, much creepier man who has this big house in Burbank. And I was like, why is this place so nice but so cheap? And then I met him and I was like, oh, he's gonna ask me to do some housekeeping in my underwear. He's just this like this very, I met him and he's 9.5 feet tall. I think he's literally like 6'11". He's very tall, he's very skinny and sort of, he's got these long limbs and he's like in his 60s, but he's got long hair and it's dyed jet black. Which is the creep. I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, I know you're curious about the hair. I'm an actor too, and I had to dye it for a role where I played a serial killer. And I'm like, I see it. I'm seeing it. It's good typecasting. I'm seeing it. So he's this creepy older man, and he's got this beautiful house in Burbank, and it's really cheap. And I moved in, and I'm waiting for him to be like, could you wash the dishes just wearing this? And I'm gonna be like, where are the bottoms to that? Don't ask questions, just put this on. But he hasn't done it yet, and also, I'm pretty sure he's probably videotaping my showers, but I'm cool with it as long as he doesn't use my real name on YouTube. I'm cool with it. So that's what's been going on in my life. I'm living with a creepy older man in Burbank, but I'm still doing what I love, comedy and acting, and this is like, thank you for indulging me. I just had to get this off my chest. I know a lot of it wasn't funny, but it's a therapy session for me, so I can't afford therapy, so I just talk it out on stage. I'm like, what do you guys think? What do you think I should do? And some other fans from the cruises. So I perform on these gay cruises, and they're so funny because I'm the only girl. I go on these cruises, like, the first cruise I went on, I was in the middle, no, actually, the cruise I just did, I was in the middle of the Caribbean with 3,000 gay men. 3,000 gay men and me. I was the only girl on the boat, literally. I ran around naked the entire time. And nobody looked at me. Nobody. In fact, some of them were like, oh, honey, put it away. And maybe cut carbs. You need to cut some carbs. Maybe do some cardio. You need to add some cardio to the workout. So, oh my God, the shenanigans that go on a gay cruise. Can you imagine it? They're just dicks out everywhere. There's dicks everywhere. There's dicks in the pool, and dicks in the jacuzzi, and dicks in the buffet line. I'm in line trying to get food. I'm like, is that Italian sausage? Oh, that's Bob. Hey. So I had a great time. I have a blast on these cruises, and I go and I come back. I'm there for a week. I come back and I check in with my parents. I'm like, Dad, I just got back from my Caribbean cruise. And my dad's like, oh, Helen, your life is so amazing. They pay you money, you go to cruise, you tell jokes. Oh, wonderful. Next time, I want to go with you. And I'm like, well, Dad, it's a gay cruise, so maybe not the best trip for you to go on. And then my dad, my 70-year-old Korean father, says this to me. He goes, who knows? Maybe I have the gay gene. What? Wait. What? Okay. Either my 70-year-old Korean father has just come out of the closet to me, Or he's a whore who will just gang himself out for a week in the Caribbean. Either way, I need years of therapy, thank you, Dad.
Gotta get my luggage packed, leaving town and won't be back. Jump, jive, dance, and swing. Everybody's jumping down in Palm Springs.